Wow, it is finally happening. Total War Medieval 3, if you've missed it, it has been announced. The trailer is finally out. It'll be down in the description. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it, but this is exciting news. I think it goes safely to say that the entirety of the Total War community has really been looking forward to this specific title. For many years, we have been asking Total War Medieval 3, Medieval 3, Medieval 3. It's been on everyone's mind. Many have been asking when it's going to happen, and we finally have the announcement. But before anybody gets excited, it should be noted that this is in early development, and it is not coming out this year, nor even next year. As it states, the developers in this blog have said, think of it more as years away rather than months away due to the fact that it is in early development. So don't be getting excited thinking this is coming out at the end of the year, next year, or even 2027. We're probably looking at a 2028, maybe even 2029 release date. And quite frankly, that's okay with me. Take your time. It is going to be an exciting journey. But one of the things that they have announced that are very exciting, that's very exciting to me at least, that was in the blog. If you haven't read the blogs, I'll link those also down below. They are introducing a very new game engine. So this will be like nothing we've played before. The engine is called War Core, and they state that it's the next evolution of our game engine. It's unlike anything we've worked with before, offering a bespoke set of new and improved tools across our animation system to the renderer and campaign building blocks, all designed to bring the medieval era to life in ways we've previously never been able to achieve. And if you go on and read the blog, they've stated that this is a project they wanted to do for a very long time. They even had early testing where they would try and maybe development in-house, of course, never announced that to us, but it just wasn't what they wanted. And now that they have this new War Core engine, they feel that this is now the time that they need to start building and developing this Medieval 3 game and announcing it to us. So what that brings, intense fights, new animations, more realistic, quote unquote, if you will say, the ability to have thousands upon thousands of units on screen, the list goes on and the possibilities. We don't know much about the War Core yet, but I'm sure as the game develops, they will certainly announce that and give us more details. And for any of you who might be asking, what are they going to be doing with Medieval 3? What's going to be the major difference between Medieval 3 from Medieval 2 from Medieval 1? Medieval 1 and 2, it was basically pretty set forward. You had your set of factions that you could choose, England and France, for example, and then you would go about your set missions that were given. Capture territories, build upon your empire, and you would go through even historical timelines that occurred in those games that might happen. The Mongolian invasion, so on and so forth. However, in Medieval 3, they have stated that our vision for Medieval 3 is to be the definitive Total War sandbox set within the medieval world and to be the ultimate what-if game where you can alter the course of history. We aim to set the scene by immersing you in the historical authenticity you expect from Total War. As you play, the world responds in ways that feel genuinely plausible. You can choose to follow the course as written in the history books or take a bold step towards rewriting it. So essentially when you become, let's just throw England into the fact, if you want to run the course that England had in its historical time frame that is documented, you can go that way if you want. However, if for some reason you change course and suddenly zip over and start invading Eastern Europe rather than primarily focusing on France and the Scottish and Irish, well, that's going to rewrite the history books completely in the game, and the game will respond in that way. How much it's going to respond or what it's going to throw at you that's different, we don't know yet because it's in early development, but it's a very interesting way that it sounds like the game is going to respond based on the decisions you made rather than just getting a set playlist or a set script, if you will, that when this date and time happens, hey, watch out for this. This is now what happened in this time in history, so this is what you're going to deal with. Very interesting, could work out beautifully if done correctly. And they have given a few examples of what this might look like. Now, it is in writing, there's no pictures or videos or anything regarding this. We have to use our imagination and imagine, but they've kind of hinted at what this means with this game engine, what the course is for Medieval 3 and how they want to build it and make it react to what we do. So a few of the examples they would say, imagine a moment like this. The year is 1187. You defend Jerusalem against Saladin, and the kingdom of Jerusalem prevails. Constantinople is never sacked. The Byzantine Empire never falls. With the Byzantines as your allies, you defeat the Mongols. In 1412, the Holy Roman Empire disintegrates into small German kingdoms. As the Kingdom of Jerusalem, you proclaim yourself defender of the Catholic Church, and Jerusalem becomes the capital of the Christian world. Trade with India and Asia blossoms. Columbus never sails to America. So they're giving you examples of how history was altered there. If you are defending and beat the historical battle of where Saladin took over Jerusalem, but you defeat him and choose to go a different route with it, now the game is going to alter its way from there. Now, again, we don't know what that means. Does that mean it's going to rewrite with the power of AI these days? I mean, really, they can integrate that in games and can do a lot. It's going to rewrite and it says Columbus never sails to America, but all of a sudden does Columbus now discover something new that was undiscovered before and it changes it in that way? What happens? We don't know. It's exciting though. And they do go on to give a few more examples of how the game is going to react and change based on your decisions. All of this is in the blog that I can link at the bottom and you can read it. But just to give you another example, they go on to say, how will you exploit decisions across decades? And once you go into battle, we want to make sure you feel like a real leader of your soldiers, master the tides of morale, discipline, and evolving battlefields. Imagine Manzikert 1221 leading the Byzantine army into battle. Your right flank is suffering from high fatigue, and on the left, your light infantry is being pushed back by heavy enemy troops. But when the rain starts, dirt turns into mud. The enemy sends its last group of reserves to crush your retreating troops, yet in the forming mud, and bolstered by your general's presence, your light infantry withstands the charge in a heroic brace, a park in the darkest hour that ripples through the army and starts to turn the tide of battle. So already from that, what we can gather is they're going to introduce environmental changes into the battles as they go. No longer will you start a battle and maybe the conditions aren't in your favor and you can re-roll to have less chaotic conditions, if you will. Sunny days, cloudy with no rain, or raining days, depending on how you want to do your strategy. This might be you go into a map and based on however their weather system works, you might start on a cloudy day on ground that isn't wet or soggy, but it is cloudy, and as the battle progresses, maybe a storm picks up, rain picks up, and starts to wetten the ground, creating mud, and going from there, rewriting history and how the battles are won, turning the tide based on your light troops being able to conquer heavy troops. Armor has the ability to slow down troops. Maybe they fall in the mud. We don't know. Again, it's sheer speculation at this point, but they're kind of giving us little crumbs as to what they want to do with the Medieval 3 game. And as I said, there are other examples, but the last one I want to leave you guys with is they say, and finally, we want you to be the manipulator of the world as a stage. The medieval world is your canvas, and you are the agent of change across realms and of the world itself. Imagine Riga 1278 as the Teutonic Order. You are leading the Baltic Crusade. You deforest regions to simulate timber trade and found new cities to attract settlers from Western Europe. Farmland and mines expand on the map through your decree. You build new castles on a map to fortify your new home. Central Europe, architecture spreads to the Baltic. So your presence transforms cultures, cities, and lands itself. It means so much. You can alter the map itself. No longer, what I take from that, possibly, right, is no longer is the map just a set campaign map that can't be altered or changed in any way, shape, or form. Maybe we have the ability to change the map, create our own paths, knock down heavy force that would usually block our path to a certain region or area, but through doctrines or technology, we might very well be able to change that. And then, of course, in closing, they go on to say, how do you want to rewrite history? Ultimately, this is what we want all of you to experience. We want you to experience a sandbox that carries the signature blend of Total War, where immersive tactical battles blend with your campaign, story, shape kingdoms, religions, cultures, and estates. A sandbox to rewrite history across the turbulent centuries of medieval history. So essentially what it sounds like is the game isn't going to be the same for any one person. At least that's how I'm gathering it. Because if the game is going to change drastically, one person might go east, one might go south or west or north, depending on the area you choose to conquer, the town you choose to conquer, the battles you choose to fight. the enormity of the battles that you choose to fight, if you win or lose them, it sounds like this game has the ability to completely rewrite itself and change things. And with the technology that they have today, again, if we go into AI and the amount of information they can do, they can introduce almost an endless amount of possibilities into this game. So years away, but my God, it sounds incredible so far. And here are a few of the pictures that they've provided us with. And I'm loving the concept art as it stands right now. We've got medieval Europe right here. Everybody in their homes, the merchants on the store, the people drinking their beer, enjoying their ale and having a thing, the cathedral in the background. It's just epic. And then we have this illustration of Spain, a massive army. Looks like it's forming outside of that castle, so they're setting up their battle ranks. So you're going to have massive sieges. And that is really what I kind of want them to work on more, and with this new engine they very well might be able to do that. But it always felt like sieges, I never felt worried or scared when it came to a siege battle. It just, the computer they were just never very good at sieges. They would just throw their troops in one area, or they would try and outflank you, but it never worked. It just, that's where the Total War games always fell short for me. The battles were incredible. They were always fun, but when it came to sieges and you were getting sieged, I was never worried. And if you lost, it was only because the computer had sheer amounts of numbers to your maybe 100 guys in the actual settlement that they were besieging. But it was, if you had an equal army or even a quarter of the army, it was an easy win. So I really hope they go into the sieges more and make it more difficult for if you are a besieger or getting besieged, both sides. I really want to see what they do with it, especially in the battles in general. And then we go into this. This is a picture of the map, no doubt. Now, this is not going to be the final way it looks. This is not the graphical design or art. It's probably going to look drastically different when it's actually released, but it gives us an idea of what it looks like. The country of Spain here, we're in the southeastern corner. Obviously, it looks like a little army planted right there. You can see the little yellow flag, and they're in their movement. So I am interested to see how environmental changes, if it'll happen even on the campaign map rather than just in the actual the battles themselves. And then the last piece of concept art, they offer just a beautiful piece, a little castle perched on top of the hill here, overlooking the ocean. Gorgeous, but it's just a piece. It doesn't really offer us much as to what happens, but I'm excited. Medieval 3, Total War. My goodness, this has been the most exciting news for gaming for me in months. So I am absolutely excited for this. Now, of course, a lot of the questions going around is, well, how many factions are there gonna be? Now, we all know Total War has a reputation of releasing a game with a few factions, and then they hide everything else behind DLC paywalls, more factions, or things that maybe probably should have been in the base game, but they're hiding again behind DLC. We don't know if that's going to happen. We can only speculate. It happens across so many games, unfortunately, but with the release of some recent games that haven't done that, maybe it pushes a new way. Will this game cost $60 when it comes out? Will it cost $70? Will it cost more? And that's how they get around the DLC thing. But in terms of factions, if I just break down the intro trailer that was released, again, sheer speculation here, but I would be willing to bet there are going to be at least 5, because you have 5 different characters in the trailer. You know, you have the 2 female characters, the 3 male characters, England, France, Spain, obviously, because they just showed us that. We'll have the Middle Eastern territories. We'll have the Germanic territories, Eastern Europe, certainly. At least 5, but I would imagine they'd give you at least 7 factions to try and play, 7 countries to play. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but comment down below how many do you think they're going to release on day 1 when this finally happens. But you better believe these developers are going to start asking the community what they would like to see, what they're interested in, and they will be in communication with the community as the years go by. But comment down below, what are the main things that you would like to see? Is it something to do with battles? Is it something to do with trading, merchants, the overall campaign? What are the major things that you would like to see done or rewritten in Medieval 3 that maybe they haven't had in any of the past Total War games or have fallen a little short on, and they could revisit and repolish. Let's get the conversation going. I'm super excited about Medieval 3 Total War. It has been announced. Again, trailer linked below. Watch it. Go to those 2 blogs. Read about what's going on. And we will be keeping constant updates on this as time goes by. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Please, again, comment down below. Smash the like button so this can get out to so many more. And if you want to follow the information that's going to be coming out throughout the months, throughout the years regarding Total War Medieval 3, please smash the subscribe button. In the meantime, hope you guys all have a great day. You guys take it easy, okay?